Howdy folks, Nathan coming at you from Southern California. That is the Pacific Ocean. And there's a big deal about that because this vehicle, which is the ECD Automotive Designs Beach Runner, hasn't been here yet, not with us. We've reviewed these in the past, but essentially it's been in Kissimmee, Florida, the other coast. This is the left coast, and as such, very different environment. Matter of fact, it's remarkably foggy out here, and this vehicle is what I consider to be in its element. Beach, fog, sand, ocean. That's what this is built for. In addition, yes, there are no windows, just this little top. And yes, it's very much open to the elements, which is great fun when you're driving down the 405 freeway or the 101 or any of the other freeways here in Southern California. Anyway, what are we going to do with this vehicle? Two things. One, many of you who saw the previous video with this vehicle noticed that we didn't cover too many details, so I wanted to cover that. Also, we're going to take it to a car show because this is a toy for the rich and it's a lot of fun to drive. But what about people who actually could afford it? Well, that's exactly what we're going to do with this. We're going to bring it to those people and see what they think about it. Something that we don't normally do. So I'm going to give them slight access to it. All right, so you guys wanted to know about details? Let me show you some details. All right, let's go right into the details, because some of you guys were curious, and you know what? I would be too. First of all, yes, and this step can hold my big ass weight. At least so far. All right. I wanted to point out a couple things, and one of you guys was asking about this. Why is the e-brake on the driver's side of the vehicle? I'll get to that in a second. I also wanted you to notice the way they set this up, pedal, brake, and whatnot. It's very high and it's not adjustable. This is an important point, and the reason why is because of this. Now, this is part of the structure of this vehicle, right? Underneath here, by the way, battery. Very comfortable leather seats. Obviously, for the price of this vehicle, you're going to get cool stuff like this. But this is the structure. This is how it came from the factory many years ago. They can't change this. Because of that, the seat is bolted here. This whole setup is because they were built originally as right-hand drive vehicles. Sure, not that difficult, I guess, to switch it to left-hand drive, but when you do, certain things like the e-brake, and I'm going to show you the other thing. There, coming around. The hood release, well, those are meant for people who are driving this on the right-hand side. By the way, here's a glove box. Literally big enough for a glove. Going over here, yes, low, neutral, that's unlocking everything, and high. This one does not have lockers, and it has open front and rear diffs. Old Defender 110s all had this cut right here, meaning access to the back is even more limited. Yes, fire extinguisher. Not a lot of space, but look at that. This is actually detachable. It's a Bluetooth, and you can move this, well, anywhere within a certain amount of feet. It's a whole beach runner thing, right? Because you're at the beach. All right. Look at that. USBs. No USB-Cs in this one. Once again, structure, right? So this is a mounting point, and the only mounting point. They can't really cut into this because the frame is right underneath and gas tanks and whatnot. So the seating position you're seeing here is essentially all you get. Now you can, there we go, adjust the seat here, right? But that's essentially just for this. Okay, but there's more. You can lift this up, and this can tilt. Basically for access to the back. And yes, we'll cover this because everybody wants to see the chunky monkey sit in one of these tiny seats. This vehicle, as set up, can hold up to 8 people. Yep. 9 if you add a bench seat, but I don't think they have an option for that. Really, why would you want 9? 8's the perfect number, right? That is including the driver, by the way. All right, let's go to the back. They put what feels like real wood flooring here. They have a mat here, but that's what's underneath it. Yeah. Actually, if you put all these seats up, you do have a decent amount of storage here. So I guess you could bring a barbecue or whatever, hair product, small rabbits in a box, something like that. There is room here to put that in. But one of the things they'll do with ECD is that they'll sell you a bumper mount where you could have bikes, kayaks, canoes, barbecues, all that stuff here. All right. Actually, it's very interesting that I'm at the Pacific Coast because of that. This thing is built for fog, if you think about it, right? However, this thing has been completely stripped down and built completely up from the frame. Almost everything in here is new or completely remanufactured, which explains the extraordinary price. Just wanted to show you a little bit of the outside. All right, let's talk about seating comfort. Here I go. Okay, I'm in. Headroom's great. Shoulder room's interesting. Now the seat is as far back as it can go. It does slide. There we go. It's not powered. I have it up pretty much as far as I want it to go, but for those of you who are taller, I don't know, maybe you can lean it back a little bit, but you're stuck with one thing, and I'm going to show you what that is. Pedal placement takes a little bit of getting used to. I've driven many Rovers in the past. I'm lucky. So I'm used to this. This pedal position is very similar to old ones. Granted, this is all new, but still. So you have to lift up quite a bit, right? And then the steering wheel. Well, let me show you here. Remember, I'm pretty big and tall, but the steering wheel doesn't adjust, right? No adjustment. So when you hit the brake, you might be rubbing against the steering wheel a little bit. But once you get used to that, it's not too bad. It's kind of like driving a bus. Speaking of which, we're talking about solid axles, front and rear. And we're talking about a very old style steering system. So you're doing a lot of correction just to keep in the lane. And with all this ungodly power, you definitely notice it. But it's not that hard to get used to. Somebody made a joke saying that I couldn't fit in the back seat behind myself. Well, let's find out. Well, I am pushing quite a bit on the seat. If I did that, it'd be fine, but obviously can't do that. But, yeah, that's not too bad. And I have cup holders here, USB-Cs, and a speaker. What more do you need? I mean, windows might be nice from time to time. By the way, they do have these holes here. I think that's for drop-in plastic windows, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I think on the original, that's what they had. They had those on old Jeeps too. Not too sure. But if you're buying this, honestly, you own a yacht, an airplane, or a ranch. So little trivial things like a window, who cares? Hello, bet you're wondering about this seat, how it goes down. Pretty simple. Little snap right here. Take that down, lift that up, and then place it here. All right, let's put this chunky monkey in the back, see what happens. Huzzah. So simple. Huh. Okay, so yes, I can there. I can fit in the very back. And actually, somebody else could probably fit next to me. This would be better for Case, Alex, even Tommy. Roman, Andre, and I, not so much. If I pull this seat down here, you can see that the leg room becomes... we would have to have our legs sort of intertwined, basically knees to groins, if it was guys. Yeah, but little ones, like Case and Alex, they wouldn't have a problem back here. So, yes, it is usable under the right conditions, but putting me back here, it's just really good comedy. You may have noticed the key is on the left side. Think of it as a Porsche, and no, don't think of it that way, but it's British. Just, you know, that's what they do. But it's leather. Oh, everywhere. Very nice. Okay, we're gonna wrap up some of the details here before we take it to the event. Yes, it does have heating and air conditioning. Let me see if we can, there we go. And they're kind of vague. So, down is off for these two. Up is on, I think. And then you switch this up for heat. One setting. AC, one setting. As far as I know, that's what you got. By the way, gauges are extraordinary. Yeah. All right. There's another one right there. But what about modern conveniences? Yes. Look what we have here. Let me fire this up. Stand by. Now, watch modern conveniences. Ready? Here we go. There it is, backup cam. Yay! Yep, modern convenience, small screen. Couple final details. There it is. That's headlights, steering, and horn. Push in for horn. Old school. So, in other words, not a horn. And then windshield wiper control. All finished with what I would call very nice metal. Well, you know, sometimes you have to get what you pay for, right? Metal here too, by the way. I'm pretty sure that's all. Yeah. Hear that? Probably not with the engine on. Rear view mirror. Hello. And it works actually, because if you look, as long as nobody's there in front of you, you can actually see through the vehicle to the back. And I'm pointing all this out because, once again, you guys wanted details, but also I've been daily driving this, which has been an experience. All right, how about we go for a brief drive, but more importantly, how about we go to a car show? This vehicle proved to be very popular at the Cars and Coffee. And one of the reasons why, I think, is, yeah, the color, the design, the overall feel of it is just a lot of fun. Look, there are a million people in Los Angeles that own G-Wagons, and, well, there are a million people who own G-Wagons, right? Something like this gets a lot more attention, especially when you have real horsepower, and it's ridiculous fun, and just a tiny bit scary when you're driving something like this on the 405 freeway. But with that all being said, ECD Automotive did not pay me to shill for this vehicle. I merely brought it here to see how other people feel about it and whether or not they would want something like this. And a surprising amount of them said yes. And we are talking about people that own extraordinarily expensive sports cars. So ECD, if you're watching this, I want one of these in turquoise, and please send it to my house with keys. I'm kidding. I'll see you next time.